Let's spend a few minutes now talking about Gitmo and what's happened there this week. Lawyers for Guantanamo Bay detainees say some of their clients are preparing to die now as the mass hunger strike at that facility nears the 2-month mark. But the US military claims only 37 captives are refusing all food and continues to deny claims that, indeed, actually more than 100 detainees are starving themselves in protest against mistreatment and indefinite detention. Well, human rights groups are mounting their outcry at the crisis, urging officials to take decisive action. Amnesty International went as far as calling Guantanamo an American gulag. It says the facilities brought pain and suffering instead of justice. The White House insists it's monitoring the situation. It remains, it says, committed to closing Guantanamo. But the Pentagon now wants to renovate the facility at the same time, saying Congress has decided to keep it open indefinitely. That then leaves the detainees in limbo and desperate to draw on international attention to their plight. Let's go live to Cindy Panuccio. She's a lawyer for a client who's taking part in the hunger strike there. Thanks ever so much for being with us. We do appreciate your time, Cindy. Thank you for joining us. Now, when did you last speak to your client, and what state is he in at the moment tonight?
Thank you for having me, Kevin. I was with him last week. I met with him from Tuesday through Thursday every day. And when I first met with him on Tuesday, I was extremely I was shocked to see that he had lost about 40 pounds from the last time that I saw him, and he was in a terribly weak state. He was bending over from stomach pains. He also said that he had not eaten since February 6th, so he was one of the initial hunger strikers, and he was in a terribly bad state when I saw him.
So you can confirm, when our viewers are hearing us talk about this, it isn't media hype when we're talking about some of these guys being close to death. This is what you've actually seen with your own eyes.
I've seen it with my own eyes, and I heard him tell me he's supposed to have another meeting with his military council in the following week, and he told me to let them know that he may not be in a state to meet with them. He may be, by the time they come see him, he may be in isolation, or he may be under medical watch, or he may be being force-fed by that time and may not be able to meet with them. And he wanted me to take that message to them.
Cindy, why this discrepancy still between what some of our sources are telling us is up to 100 hunger strikers and what the authorities are saying it's less than 40? Why that discrepancy still?
You know, when I first got there, the media was only reporting last Monday when I first got to Guantanamo. The government actually was only reporting about 31 hunger strikers. By the time I left Guantanamo on Friday, they were actually reporting a number of up to 37. But when I spoke with my client directly, who is housed in Camp 6, where the majority of the men are, he said that pretty much every single of the about 120, 130 men in Camp 6 were hunger striking, with the exception of the more older and more ill, more weak individuals who would not be able to hunger strike. And I think that the discrepancies are just due to what the Department of Defense classifies as a hunger strike, and when they begin to count, you know, the missed meals that can now qualify someone to be a hunger striker. And it's semantics. It's the numbers on, you know, when does the government decide they want to start counting someone as a striker?
And when, I mean, is this brinkmanship, how long is it going to take? How long do you estimate it's going to take before maybe someone dies? Who's going to blink first? Are the hunger strikers maybe going to back off? Is the government going to do anything? What's going to happen next?
Well, we know that from, you know, my meetings with my client last week and his conversations with other other detainees and prisoners who are also on strike, they are prepared to stand up for the principles of not having their religious practices disrespected, not having the Quran desecrated, and now it's become an even bigger message that they want to deliver, which is that they have been now detained since, 2002, many of them, my client for 11 years now, since 2002. Some of them are cleared for release, have been declared innocent innocent by the United States. However, the U.S. refuses to transfer them, and the Congress refuses to provide funds for that. The Obama administration has closed the office that it had set up in the State Department to study the closure of Guantanamo and carry that out, and it hasn't happened. And so this has gone beyond the desecration of the Quran, the disrespect of their religion, and they're now also protesting the worsening conditions as these prison officials are essentially retaliating against them and trying to end the strike by making conditions harsher. And the detainees have been enduring all of this and plan to continue to do so.
But Cindy, crucially, we're talking about it. We've only got 15 seconds. I'm so sorry. We're talking about it, but who is listening? Who else is listening?
Well, I'm hoping
People that
that
count, are they listening?
I'm hoping that your viewers are listening. I'm hoping that the world is listening. Many human rights groups are starting to become active, and when I was meeting with my client, I let him know that at least now we've heard from the press secretary for the Obama administration, who said that President Obama is actually listening now as well and closely monitoring the situation. And so we're hopeful that this hunger strike will end soon, and that the U.S. authorities will see that the requests of the detainees are very simple.
Lawyer Cindy Panuka on the line from Los Angeles. Thank you ever so much for your time. Do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.